Welcome to Colorado Today, and now it is my pleasure to welcome a wonderful lady, very sharp, with a great organization. It's Friends of Denver Parks, and with us is Renee Lewis, who is the president of Friends of Denver Parks. And Renee, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much, Wayne. And for folks who are not really familiar with Friends of Denver Parks and what we're doing, the city and county of Denver showed up one day and said we didn't have a park in our neighborhood, and we were kind of surprised about that. There'd been people living here for 30, 35 years didn't know we didn't have a park.
That's it. Looks like a park to me.
It's a park. It was on the maps as a park. You know, the Parks and Recreation Department were taking care of it and maintaining it. It was a designated natural area. So what the park we're referring to is, most folks know it as Hensel Park Natural Area. And on the city maps, it was known as Hampton Heights North Park.
Hampton Heights North Park. Yes,
that's when you looked on the city maps, that's how it was designated.
And Renee, for people who aren't familiar, what part of Denver is this park that we're talking about, so everybody knows where we are?
Yeah, this is down below Cherry Creek Reservoir, right next. It is actually on the creek where the Cherry Creek Bike Trail is, right next to John F. Kennedy Golf Course. It's a beautiful, verdant environment. It's also considered a floodplain, so it never was considered appropriate for development in any way because we need those absorption areas right next to the creek. So it's perfect for a park and perfect for people to enjoy and a great place for the animals to flourish, but not suitable for development.
You know, Renee, whenever I have people out of town visiting, one of the things they will mention almost first is one of the things they love about Denver are the parks and the open spaces. Yes,
and we've got some exciting news. There's someone else that who feels strongly about that, and he's joining Friends of Denver Parks as a member, and that's former Mayor Wellington Webb.
Very good.
Yes, so I actually have a little comment that he has written to us, and I'll read it to you.
Please do.
He says, I believe in the protection of Denver parks within the city and in the mountains. I do not support the use of park space for development. I believe we should maintain what we have and acquire additional park space for future generations. If your organization is in alignment with these principles, I would certainly become a member. So that's the letter he sent us. We were able to assure him that we were in alignment with those principles, and he wrote us back and he said he's sending us a check. So
very, very good.
Is that exciting news or what?
That is incredible news. Of course, for people who don't remember, and I certainly do, Wellington Webb was the mayor of Denver for quite a few years and did some wonderful, wonderful things for the city.
Yes, so apparently he's a little concerned about some of the shenanigans that's getting started up around here because one of his legacies that he's very proud of is the fact that he put together the Cherry Creek Bike Trail. So, and Parks was very much a part of his mayoral agenda.
Yes.
So,
one of the many good things that he stood for, Wellington and his wife Wilma, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, absolutely.
Represented the city very, very well for a number of years. Well, congratulations.
Isn't that exciting?
It's very exciting.
And that he's so, giving his support our way. So just a couple of the things I wanted to update. Last time we talked, we were going to have our gala fundraiser.
Yes.
Hootenanny Good Time there around late October there, October 26th. And I wanted to just report it was successful. We had a lot of support. People came to the party. Those that didn't come sent donations. And we were able to get half of the funds that we need to really put together a good court case. So our goal is $20,000. We certainly are looking for folks to help us out with more donations, of course, because the court filing fees are expensive. We have depositions that we need to film, and we want to put those on the website. And, of course, the court transcripts which I was surprised. One transcript alone is $1,200.
No kidding.
So John Case of Benson and Case Attorneys is doing this for us pro bono, and I didn't really realize what that meant. But if we had to pay for an attorney, it would almost be prohibited to do what we're doing. So it's a very generous gift to the community John has given us. So just to let you know how that went. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I wanted to talk about the film,
yes.
Casey Kiefer.
I want to hear everything about that. I've watched that film, and it is absolutely marvelous, Renee, very powerful. But let's just back up just a step for people who are maybe hearing about this for the first time.
Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this was formed because there was a land swap that somebody had proposed to build a school there and trade that land for somewhere in central Denver, maybe in the core of the city,
yes.
For another building.
Yes.
That's really what kind of precipitated all of this, correct?
Yeah.
So
it is about whether we want our parks to be developed.
Mm-hmm.
And
sure.
they really kind of pulled a little technicality out of their hat to say we didn't have a park and therefore they could do with it what they wanted.
Uh-huh.
And this technicality had never, ever even been contemplating being used. And what they said was, your park was never formally designated a park, therefore it's not a park. Now, never mind the fact that there are many parks throughout the city in the same shape.
Sure.
They could have showed up at Ruby Hill Park and done the same thing. Ruby Hill Park was not designated, not one iota, according to Laurie Dannemiller, and I asked her personally just to make sure. Mm-hmm. That big, beautiful, magnificent park was not designated, and they could have pulled the same technicality. So it's, it was just kind of a sneaky deal that they did, and the reason that they did it is, according to Denver City Charter 245, that if you are going to repurpose a park, then you have to put it on a ballot and have people vote for it. You can't just do that.
So they didn't.
So it's just kind of a conflagrated way to avoid the process of allowing us to vote. And the reason is, Denver residents are not willing to concede parkland. They understand that, when you listen to developers talk,
Sure.
they're talking about density right now.
Exactly.
They're building up. We're going to look like one of these big European cities in no time flat. I've been to Istanbul where there's 10 million people, and, it's sky risers everywhere, and that's what their plans are for Denver.
Well, Renee, see, that's a good point, because for someone who's listening that, say, lives in, Northwest Denver, they're thinking, what do I care happens in Southeast Denver? But I guess the point is, and correct me if I'm wrong, that a precedent would be set, and then they could do it to Ruby Hill, which, you think about all the kids that sled this time of year, or they could do it in central Denver. They could just look at Washington Park, one of our greatest resources in the city, and say, we don't need a park there. Let's just put up a whole bunch of high density, land property up there. A lot of high rise apartment buildings. So,
we're at a point in our history where that's. We're going to have to fight to save our park, and it's even more insidious than that.
Sure.
If this court case is going to be a precedent throughout the whole state of Colorado.
Right, so it would affect
cities already are pulling the same thing on citizens. They tried to do it in Inglewood, and Inglewood citizens put it on the ballot and were able to save all their parks except the first one that they found out about. They voted to designate all their parks. They were able to get that on their ballot. They're not letting Friends of Denver Parks put a petition, present their petition, which we have nearly 8,000 signatures. When we showed up at the courthouse with our petition, with all the signed signatures, they refused to take it, and they put our signatures in the basement there in City Hall. So we've got a court case about that. But yeah, we're at a point in our history where developers, and I just was surprised to learn, these are investment groups. Developers are investment groups.
Sure.
This isn't Joe Smith down the road.
That's right.
This
exactly.
is people who don't even have any probably may not even live in the city.
Very good
Or
point.
it may be people even in our very own city government who has a dog in the hunt, in these investment corporations. So it's pretty...
This is a very important subject that affects everybody who, like you said, literally lives in the state of Colorado.
Yes.
So now,
this court case is crucial. It is crucial because they're going to use it. It's either going to be positive or it's going to be negative.
all right. Now
And we want it to be positive. We got a darn good attorney, and please, go to our website, Friends of Denver Parks. Help us make sure that we can put up a good fight with these folks, because it's going to be interesting. Last time we went to court, we had Happy Haynes on the stand, and she got so mad at some of the questions John was asking her because they were, getting kind of close to home. She literally, in the courtroom, called John Case a son of a bitch.
so it kind of hit a nerve, you might say.
We're going to be asking real personal questions to some of these folks, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to mention that website, friendsofdenverparks.org, friendsofdenverparks.org, and we're visiting with Renee Lewis, who is the president, and you had alluded to a video. I've seen the video, Hampton Heist, the abduction of a Denver park. Very, very well done. For people who haven't seen the video, tell us about that, Renee.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Well, I got a phone call from a gentleman named Casey Kiefer. He said, I want to help you. He said, I want to tell your story. The story is very compelling. So I didn't know Casey, didn't quite know what to think.
Sure.
But when I said, sure, go ahead. He put that video together, and come to find out, this gentleman is not just any old videographer.
No.
I mean, he's a professional movie maker. So you can really tell that in the video, that it's just beautiful what he did, and he gave it as a gift to the Friends of Denver Park. He didn't charge us anything. He gave us all rights to use it for fundraising. If folks want to make a donation for the video, it's on our website, of course, but it features Tom Noel, who is known as Dr. Colorado.
Oh, yes,
and
everybody
he has some comments about, the future of our parks and where we're going. Susan Baird, she's a former senior planner and was our acting natural resource director for a while, and she certainly has some comments about this action that was taken.
Exactly.
And how inappropriate it is. And then, of course, we have David Longbrake, who's a retired professor from University of Denver, who's lived there for 35 years, and he was a city planner. That's what he taught, was city planning. So, for him, he was quite shocked to find out that that wasn't a park. And he actually is a witness in our trial, and he has documentation that shows that it was recognized as a park very early on.
Sure, because
so you've got to see the film. It's amazing. It's a wonderful gift by Casey Kiefer, and you'll be impressed, I promise you. It really tells our story so clearly.
It does, Renee, and I have watched it several times, and it's it's like a Hollywood production. It's very, very well done and very powerful. Now, how do people get their copy? First of all, can they see the video on your website, or can they obtain a video? How does that work?
Yes, you can let us know you'd like to have a video. You can go to our website. It's donations,
Sure.
And we have a suggested donation of $10 if you come and pick it up at the house. If we send it to you, it's $15 is all we want for it. But we made sure that we took a copy to every member of the city council. And we actually had one city council member couldn't find hers and had heard about the video and was writing us letters saying, "Where's her copy?"
There you go.
We had to assure she just didn't look in her mailbox. So and we also took copies to the Denver School Board, because some of the feedback that we got from the school board was they just did a drive-by of the property. When they were asked to vote on this land swap, they just drove by and somebody pointed out, see, there it is, and they didn't really grasp that it was a park.
Sure. What they saw was like land, but they didn't know really what that was that they were looking at. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. So they were very disappointed that they felt, the feedback we got is some of them felt like they were a little hornswoggled on that. So as you can imagine, if you start peeling back the layers of onion, there are people profiting from this. and benefiting from this. And that's some of the things we're going to talk about in court. So,
well, now, as far as the legal process, where are we with that, Renee?
Yes, well, November 21st, John Case filed a reply brief with the Court of Appeals because we were appealing. We went to court on an injunction and were denied an injunction, so we've appealed that. And also, I'm not real clear how this works, but they're also going to be looking at whether this case has, whether it's administrative versus legislative, because that's what they told us. You can't vote because this is an administrative decision by the city, and that's why the Denver City Charter doesn't apply to this case. And so we're having them look at whether that's administrative or legislative. So that we can be allowed that's all we're fighting is for the right to vote. Come on, we just want to vote because we know the citizens of Denver would not allow this. So it's in the court. We've been promised that it will be expedited because, there's some construction that, could happen. Sure. Already we've got some construction going on there, but supposedly it's not associated with the school. They're putting drainage system in the park now. But, we've been promised this expedited process. We're supposed to hear something by January 1st on those two issues in the Court of Appeals. But no matter what the decision in the Court of Appeals is, we still have a court trial that is scheduled for May 19th.
That's still a long way.
We're very excited about that. And
Renee, across the country, are there any legal precedents you could point to? This situation must have come up somewhere across the country before.
Yes, it certainly has. In Colorado Springs, they call it the McIntyre case, and it was very late 1800s. They had a park in the center part of the city, I guess, some part of the city, and the city government decided that they wanted to put a courthouse there. And the citizens said, no, you can't. That's a park. It's been treated like a park. We've always, recreated on it like it was a park. It's been being maintained as a park. You can't, we don't want you to build there. Sure. We want it to be a park. So they went to court, and they won the case. The citizens of Colorado Springs won the case because it was a common law dedication. It was, so that was the precedent, that it's common law. And that's the case, that's where we're really focusing, the area we're focusing on. We're saying, it's always been a park.
There you go.
Because you didn't designate it, because you didn't do the paperwork that was supposed to be done, isn't our fault. That should have been done. That's you just missed the boat on that. But exactly. So, yeah, the McIntyre case is where, John Case is really, bringing that to the forefront. Well, we're hoping to win.
And I would suggest people to watch the video. It's about 15 minutes long, and it's very, very well done. I want to mention the website again, friendsofdenverparks.org. So you suggest a donation to get the video. If somebody wants to just make a donation to your cause, because it's kind of at the end of the year, people look at the end of the year giving and whatnot, but they don't. Maybe they already have the video, or they don't really care to watch the video. Is that tax deductible?
We're a 501c4.
Okay, so
it's not tax deductible, but it also gives us the advantage, right? We can engage in the political process. So,
okay.
If we were 501c3, we really couldn't. So it's 501c4 for that reason. Okay. But it is a nonprofit organization. All right? And we have our email, our P.O. box is on the front page there.
Sure.
There is a PayPal there that you can donate to. Get in touch. I'm also going to be showing the film. I live in near the park in a townhome environment called the Park, and we're going to have a holiday party next Saturday from between 5 and 8, and I will be showing the film.
Very
so
good.
if folks really want to see the film, I'll be showing it. But yes, we have a PayPal on our website, P.O. Box. You can contact us if you have questions. We'd all be glad to talk to you in any way. And the main thing is that's how you can help us, is we want to be sure we have the funds to do this well, because we can't afford to lose, because our park system is in jeopardy.
Very well said. Renee Lewis, I thank you for your time, as always, and best of luck and happy holidays
thank you, Wayne,
and all that stuff.
We'll keep you updated. Check back with us. We'll see what that court decision is before
Certainly will.
January.